Oops. Hi. Hi there. How are you? Oh, thank you. This is my sacred temple. This is where I do my witchcraft, my readings, also where I counsel, and I do weddings here too. Yeah. How's everyone doing? How you doing? How's everyone? Tell me where you're coming in from. I'm in BC, British Columbia, Vancouver Island, and Nanaimo region. Where are you from? Alberta, Canada. Yes, we're in Canada, Jinx. Victoria. Oh, we're moving our store out to Victoria. Edmonton. Yes. Doing great. Welcome, Edmonton, Atlanta, Ontario, Alberta. Yes. Hello, Blondie. You see, everyone, that woman, Blondie, has the name Wolf beside her. If you also buy a subscription and have the name Wolf beside you, you'll become part of our White Wolf Coven, and you'll be privy to many of the bonuses and benefits of being in a coven. For the rest of you who are just going to be listeners, you're more than welcome to stay on, no problem. But we are going to be discussing witchcraft, learning about the foundations of witchcraft, and how to put your magical workings together in a way where they'll become effective. As you can see, I've been setting up my altars. Well, let me just see if you can see that one too. Yeah, the black candles lit as well. You see? At the back there. And that's because we are coming into the dark time. Today, however, today and tomorrow, the next day, we're going to be looking at more or less days and nights that are in equal time and in equal balance. And basically, there'll be as much daylight as there is nighttime. And so we're here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what that season will bring us and how we can work with it. You know, what can we do with that information? Really, common sense witchcraft. Yes. And, you know, a lot of people think witchcraft is a lot of hoodoo, a lot of woo-hoo. Well, it really isn't. It's just understanding the climate you're living in, the community you're living in, the land you're living in, and working with nature in that way. That's all it really is. So, you know, if it means to be connected to the earth, if being connected to the earth means that I'm a witch, well, then I guess I'm a witch. And if you're connected to the earth and to the universe, then I guess you're one too. And if you don't call yourself one, then maybe you should think about all the people that are being called one and all the people that call themselves one. And maybe you'll start to understand what this whole witchcraft phase is, this earth and era is going through at this time. We are regathering our strength. We are coming back together in higher numbers. We are switching our religions from, you know, the ones with churches and walls to the ones with ceilings of stars and clouds and moons and suns. And basically the outdoors would be our, hi Joe, thank you. The outdoors would be our church. And as I'm part native and I'm very much follow witchcraft and shamanic ways. And I teach it. And that's what I'm about. So this is the White Wolf Coven you've come to today. I'm just going to go empty my cauldron of my old burned herbs onto the earth outside. I'll be right back. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to empty my smudge bundle, my smudge bowl as well. So how many here say they're a witch? Thank you, Joe, for the hearts. That was nice of you. How many here? Hello, Montreal, Sandy. Blackheart, Carrie, hello. You do, Margie, good. Bad feedback on my voice. You're close to animals and trees, good. That makes you very much a wise person. And I guess the word witch really represents a wisdom keeper, wisdom person. We have lots of names for wise people in our world. Different cultures call them different things. What do you call a wise person in your culture? Hi. Do you have a name? A witch here in North Carolina. Hello, Amy. Welcome. For those of you who would like to participate as a coven member, there will be benefits for that, and all you need to do is go up to the top where it says 1171 with the star and buy yourself a subscription. It's good for a month, and I will be doing this every Friday. And for those of you that are considered members, you'll also be invited to a Zoom session where we would do some ritual magic. Here on this channel, I do the teachings. You feel you're intuitive, but you don't think of yourself as a witch. And your grandmother did, though. The other one, eh? Good. Islander, BC, right on. Hey, Jess, I am too. Do you know we have a star here? We have a store here called Earth and Sky Connection in Nanaimo. You should come out and see us. Thank you for that beautiful swan. Whoa, welcome here. Thank you. Oh, you're a witch, are you? Good. Well, I'm very happy to have so many of you here today. Welcome. I'm going to put some music on for us. Just because I like it. So guess what moon? Guess what the moon is in? Guess what moon we are in presently? Oh, welcome, Cosmic Rays. Welcome. No, not Libra, Sag. Today it's Sag. Good one, Julia. Very good. And do you know if it's a waxing or waning moon? Waxing or waning? No, sadly, you don't know. Waxing. Yes. Yes, it's waxing. We just had a new moon. I think that new moon was in Virgo. And today we have our moon is in Sagittarius, and tomorrow it will be in Capricorn. And tomorrow is actually the day considered Mabon, but in many traditions, it is between the 19th and the 25th, something like that. So anytime between the 19th and 25th of September, it's cool to celebrate, just so you know that. I'll bring it over here a little bit. It's hard for me to read from there. Full moon is coming, yes. And so do you understand how you work your moons? Do you understand what it means to be working with a waxing moon or a waning moon? Uh-oh, I forgot something. Give me a second, everyone. 1 second, I forgot something. I did. I forgot to put the music on. Well, that's what you're here for. We will be talking about that. You have a calendar books. Oh, yeah, those are fun. Those are easier. They should make it easier to work with. Yes. So we have a waxing moon. So this means whatever energy you're putting out is going to build. And the more magic you put during a waxing moon, the bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger it gets. It's like it gets a shot of adrenaline every day until the full moon, and then wham. But whatever you put out will often come to you at the full moon, right? And then so when the moon is waning, you wanna put things out that you want to get rid of, sort of thing, right? Things that you want to become less or less problematic. So we're in a waxing moon going towards Capricorn. So we're in Sagittarian, which is a mutable sign. So it makes it very malleable. You can kind of, shape what it is you want to happen. And that is actually kind of perfect going from Sag to Capricorn, because Capricorn is all about hunkering down, getting the job done, being a really strong, ambitious force to achieve your needs and wants. So if we come from a mutable to the Capricorn, which is a cardinal sign, we have that cardinal sign likes to put things in boxes and keep to the rules, and the mutable sign is sort of, okay, we'll go with the flow, whatever's happening, we'll just sort of work with it, being open to new information and letting go of old information. So this is perfect energy for right now, because one of the jobs that you'll have to do during this part of the season, which we call Mabon. Thank you, Jen. We call it Mabon, and simply the fall equinox. And at this time of the year, we are about letting out of us things that haven't been serving us and sort of rejigging ourselves so that we feel that we're more in balance, so that we're prepared for the coming season, of course, being winter, right? Because you have to have all your energy together when it comes to winter. Winter's a very hard time for a lot of people. You got to get your food together. You got to get yourself in order for the long winter, right? That's what it's all about. So at this time, what you're really working towards, sorry, I'm just trying to get the Zoom on. I forgot I had some people waiting on Zoom. All right. What is the best day to do when feeling like your energy is off? Pull away from. What is the best thing to do? I guess you were trying to say. That's a loaded question there, Luna, Desiree. And that's because it depends on what's happening. Is it possible, depending on your natal chart is so important, because whatever planets are, like say right now I think we have 7 planets in retrograde, or six, I think. Anyways, the point of that is, if you don't have those planets in retrograde, you're going to really feel it. If your planets are in retrograde at your birth time, then you're going to really feel it. So first of all, it has everything to do with that. All right? Hang on. I'm almost ready.
Recording in progress.
Give me a second.
Recording stopped.
All right. One more second. Oh, over here. Let's get some music on. Oh, the things that computers do for you. Right? But also, if you're not eating right, especially if you're not eating right according to the season, and the seasons all have their own highlights of food. And it's different for everybody, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if you're raised in a community where, specific food is ready right now, that's the food you should be eating. You shouldn't be eating a lot of foods from what is happening here? Give me that, please. There we go. Where did these trolls come from? All right, almost got it here. There we go. So,
strapless bras?
Oh my goodness, we have strapless bras commercials on YouTube. What is going on? All right, here we go. All right, here we are. Much better. I'm just going to turn that down. Hold on. right? So food, donuts don't count. That's true. So truly, food's really important. So you want to eat what's happening out there, right? Like I was just talking to someone recently who has been going through a lot of depression, and one of the reasons is because she's not eating proper foods. At this time of year, we want to be eating yellow, red, and orange foods. Really important. And the last are your greens. And greens can include anything like, zucchini, cucumbers, um, pickles, stuff like that. I brought an apple today. I brought an apple because this apple is one of the most important foods at this time of year. And it is, in case you didn't know, the word Mabon is connected to the word apple. Mal, meaning apple, is part of a word of a Latin word. Mal is the apple, or May is the apple. And bon means good. Mabon meaning good apple. So, an apple. And there's so many variations of apples. There are apparently between 7,000 and 30,000, depending on where you are and what you're counting, what errors you're counting. But there is every color of apple you can possibly imagine too, and they all taste a little different. We have some, regulars that have been hybrid in our stores now, but there are some very special apples around the whole world, and every country has a different type of apple. So this one here is from trees right here on my property, and I'm not even sure what it is, but it's wonderful. And here are some others from other trees. Look how little these ones are. And I heard that one of the smallest apples in Italy, it's called a Nurka, and I believe it is one of the oldest apples in the world that still exists, and it has little tiny apples that are super, super tasty. And I wonder if this is what it is. I'm not an apple expert, but I can tell you this. When you cut an apple, if you cut it this way, instead of this way, if you cut it this way, like this, something wonderful shows up. Do you know what it is? Do you know? I'm just curious. Do you know? You have a garden you eat from, that's wonderful. Yes, stars. And this is the 5-pointed star that we call the pentagram. And this is the pentagram here that I'm wearing on my neck. Hearth, yes. And, each of them taste differently, and each one being enriched with a star is one of the reasons why it's the witch's favorite fruit. Okay? And eating apples at this time, you can almost like say prayers. You can say prayers to the apple, like in cutting this apple, my thoughts were how delighted I was to be able to show you this, especially if you didn't know. See, Desiree didn't know. And so it's important to understand why the apple has been such a sacred fruit for so many years, really thousands and thousands of years. And there's so many stories written about the apple, right? Nature's pentagram. That's right, Tammy. And it is really important to honor the apple at this time of year. And we see a lot of people eating apple pies and apple crisps, and that's exactly what we should be eating at this time of year, is lots of apple foods. Okay, apple sauces. So sweet. And they say the best apple is the one that had a night of frost. Right? And good to know that I'm teaching you something. So a night of frost means that the apple will become sweeter, because as it gets really cold, it sort of ripens everything and makes it ready to pick. Right on. That's a really good thing you can do, Kayla, for children, especially teaching children these kinds of things is really important. And there's lots of art and crafts that have been made around the apple. Yep, so the apple trees will be ready, Sherry. Right? So eating the apple. And with every bite, you can wish upon a star. So, one of the big things that we should do at this time of year is to wish for other people, to pray for others, to put out that energy for others, to put out the effort for others, to help others who are not ready for winter to get ready. Thank you, Katrina. This is every bite you take, you can say a prayer in your mind, a wish. You can spell it out in paper too. Thank you, Crystal. You can spell it out on paper. That's what a spell is when people cast spells. It's just you sitting down with your thoughts. What is it you want? Writing it down, and then sitting down at your altar and burning it, saying it out loud and then burning it. Winter is hard. And in fact, this time of year, we're supposed to be letting go of all the things that aren't healthy or aren't good for us, setting new stages and balancing everything out. We're supposed to be helping other people get there too, especially the elders. When the elders can't do it on their own, they have the threat of not living through the winter is there. So you helping an elder person is really important. Whoever they may be, getting them ready, bringing them food, bringing them apples, bringing them things. The first thing that was given to me when I came to this property, I bought this property in 2021. And when I came here, it was March but I had come here in September, I think it was September, mid-September or somewhere in there, again, when I first came here. And I was talking to one of the ladies on the street, and she was standing outside her apple tree, and I said to her, those apples look so delicious. She plucked one out and she gave it to me. So the very first thing I was given here was an apple. It made me think of how Eve was given an apple, and, from the tree of good and evil. And that got her into a lot of trouble. I'm pretty sure that's exactly why witches love apples too, because, they're kind of like looking at it and they're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing nothing wrong. We're doing good things. And we're aligning with nature and aligning with the mother and loving her and helping others. And, I'm not asking you to be a good witch. I'm asking you to be a witch. And what do witches do is they care for their people. I've heard a lot of witch wars out there, don't get me wrong, but those are just as bad as anyone with mental health issues. Witches have mental health issues too. But a true, solid, together, stable witch is working towards uplifting one another. That's what it's all about. Right? And so this is a good time for you to put that good energy out there for others. And, cleaning your house, that's another good thing. Is sort of fall cleaning. Get everything sparkling clean. You could, cleanse all your floors and cleanse your dusting and all of that stuff. Getting ready to batten down the hatches, to shut those windows and get ready for a winter long, right? No matter where you're living, you're going to experience some sort of weather change. Even in the Caribbean, it starts to rain. So your windows are closed more. It's a little cooler at night and stuff like that. So, the other thing I want to point out is if you are picking apples or buying apples, especially if you're picking them and you have trees with them, don't be upset if you're leaving behind apples, because there are animals out there who are going to eat them. Yes, if you're beside a bear and cougar area, you should probably clean up your apples and your fruit. But otherwise, there'll be all kinds of smaller animals coming along and having a bite, and insects will enjoy them, and the earth will love them, and you'll be definitely replenishing the nutrients to the earth. Jen, you ask what sign I am. Yes, always leave 30% for nature. I like that, Jen. That's a good idea. I do leave something for nature, I always do. I am a Leo, born in the house of Pisces, Scorpio moon, and Virgo ascendant, with a whole lot of Capricorn in there too. What are you? That bite's for you, Jen. Sagittarius, nice. Is someone being saucy here? Taurus with Leo. Aries, Aquarian, good. What's this, Margaretta, please? What are you saying that for? Gemini, Taurus. You Leo, Moon, Pisces. Ooh, we're similar, you and I. Blessed evening. Blessed evening. So, that's one thing that I think I got off my chest. What else did I want to tell you about that? Oh, so the fact that we see, Apple is really about love and beauty, but it's also about death. It's also, you can hex with it, but it's really to bring in love. It's really to bring in beauty. But think of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. No, that wasn't. It was Sleeping Beauty. Excuse me. No, was it? No, it was Snow White too. Oh my goodness. See? There's a whole bunch of stories with the eating of an apple that gets you into trouble. So, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, if I remember correctly, she ate the queen, her stepmother's apple, who poisoned it. And this is also something that has happened at Halloween or Samhain when children are receiving apples. You have to be really careful, because there was a time, I remember when I was young, when someone was putting blades inside the apples and kids were biting into them. So it's really, you were thinking Snow White too, yeah? Adam and Eve is another story, exactly. And the Adam and Eve story, that one got us into trouble right from the get-go. She was told by the snake to eat the apple to bring and in the end, I think it's kind of interesting that Eve doesn't have an Adam's apple in her throat, but Adam does. Maybe they got the story wrong. What do you think? Right? I don't know. I thought about that before. Why does Adam have an Adam's apple? I think that's the one that got caught in his throat and nobody ever realized he was the one who was doing it, not her. Sort of like your nose growing if you lie. You get stuck with the apple in your throat if you lie. So, apples. They have been the bane of contention. They have been for positive, for negative, depending on what you're doing, where you're going, and what community you're coming in from. Everybody has a little bit of a difference. And the seeds, of course, are cyanide. Exactly, Jen. And if you use those seeds in your baneful magic, you can achieve some things that you need, like putting an end to things, stopping people from gossiping. That's a good one. Stopping people from trying to break up you and your lover. It's another time you can use it. Especially when it comes to love, right? Anything to do with love, jealousy, envy, anything like that. Breaking spells, that kind of thing. I'm sorry to hear that, Tammy. That's a nice story, Mama Bear. Wouldn't surprise me. So much is not being told to us, But this is Mabon, right? Well, it's also a way you can honor the death. The star also represents the stars above. And in some of my native teachings, we learned that when you die, you return to Star Nation. And so each star is a soul. And that soul is shining down on the rest of us, awaiting a new opportunity to come back into life. And I think that's when we see stars that, go out. I think that's that amazing energy of that individual has come back into a body. Thank you. So, yeah, I think eating an apple at this time of year, and more than one, and different types of apple foods, is a really important thing. I'll do different types of crafts with them. You can even dry them out and hang them on your Christmas tree. Cut them in those star slices, and cook them in the oven. Dry them out, and then poke a little hole and hang it in a Christmas tree. Right? And that is honor. That's a real witchy's tree if you got some apples in there. And if you think about it, there are lots of times I've seen apples, fake little apples that are put on trees, Christmas trees. Right, Jen? It's a good idea. And then you can talk to them about how those 5 points in the apple are here to protect us. And they represent the witch's directions. And in case you didn't know, those 5 points represent spirit, earth, air, fire, and water. And each of those elements all carry different energy. So I understand there is a loophole you can place on baneful magic. If the behavior stops, spell does work. Amanda, that's a really good question. If you would, when I repost some of this, if you would re-ask that question or something like that, so I can answer it for you in another video and teach other people. But I don't know why you call it a loophole. So the first thing is, baneful magic, in my way, baneful magic is only used to, more so to protect yourself from others using magic against you. Also to stop someone who might be, trying to hurt you or your family or something like that. Thank you, Nick. Well, that's up to you how you want to do your craft, I'm just speaking about the kinds of things you can do. How you want to perfect it is really up to you. Oh, hello, little girl. Come sit down. So, those 5 points represent something really important. They represent the 5 elements that the witches follow. And many of us who are witches wear pentagrams on our necks, as you can see this one here. Right? And in honor of each of those directions, they all represent something to us. And I have posted on my page different things about the altar and how you would set up an altar. Okay? I have posted some of that on my website, on my TikTok here. But I'll give you a little quickie about it for now, okay? So spirit would represent your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your deities, your gods, your goddesses, and it's really important to consider that, especially right now. Spirit is the most important right this second. And that's because we're coming into a time where this equinox is about balancing. And at this time, usually there's a male god that has to die, has to go down, and if you remember, if you know the song, we'll come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. And then it goes, hoof and horn, all that die shall be reborn. Fine and grain, all that's cut shall rise again. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return. Do you know that song? I'm sorry, I didn't have my drum and I wasn't really ready to sing. But the reason why I wanted to sing that song, or tell you about that song, is because this is the time to sing it. This is the time to acknowledge it, because we're cutting down all of the herbs that we need. We're cutting all the last of the harvest, bringing everything in. Oh, there'll be one more harvest with pumpkins and stuff, but some of the last of the things are coming into the house now and being prepared into preserves and those types of things, and pies and all kinds of wonderful, yummy things that we'll eat through the winter long. Those are the kinds of foods you're supposed to be eating all winter long as well. This is the time for us to finish up that food, eating the yellows, the greens, the reds, and the oranges. That's really important to eat these kinds of foods, these colors of foods right now. But it's also important to get all your herbs and cut all of that and prepare it all, so you have all your medicines for the winter long as well, your teas, those kinds of things, right? So spirit is in there. So the spirit of the herb is being cut. It is no longer connected to the earth. So when you're cutting your herbs, remember, don't place them on the ground. Make sure they go in something, or they go on something, like a blanket or something. When you cut your herbs, put them down on that. They say if the herb is cut and then is directly put on the earth, the spirit of the herb will go into the earth. Of course, why wouldn't it? I wouldn't want to. But you want the spirit of the herbs to stay intact. Okay, so the way to do that is to not let them touch the ground. So we are cutting things, we are killing things in some way so that we can use them for the winter long for our benefits, for our livelihood, right? So this is also a time that we want to be grateful and acknowledge the winter energy that's coming is going to sacrifice a male god right now. A male god is usually the one sacrificed. But there are some stories about that are in conjunction with, like, Persephone going underground with the seeds of the pomegranate. There's stories about that too. So there's gods and goddesses that have been acknowledged as ones that are sacrificed in some way, because the plants are sacrificing themselves for us. So this is a time of sacrificing. This is why it's also a time to sacrifice your misgivings, things about yourself, and maybe even to forgive yourself. Maybe you were gossiping this year. Maybe you were aligning with one bad side and realized that you were aligning with the wrong side, and you learned something from it. You have to be able to sacrifice your ego. So it's sort of teaching about energetically sacrificing your ego, because through the experiences you learn things, you relearn things, you upgraded, you acknowledge that you were weaker, and now that you're more knowledgeable, you have kind of upgraded yourself, right? So this is a time that we recognize the death of our god or gods or goddesses, all right, and letting them go. This is also why, as we're coming into what's called Samhain, into Halloween, we are beginning the connection to our spiritual ascendants and aligning with their old teachings. And then at Halloween or Samhain, we feast them, we honor them, we're grateful for them. In fact, some people at this time of year consider Mabon to be the witches' Thanksgiving. And in that piece, in that way, in this month, this is why I think, we're also celebrating Thanksgiving, or some of us are not, because Thanksgiving was really a colonial takeover of native land. So that's caused a lot of problems over the years. And I'd like to sort of rewind and get back to the witches' Thanksgiving and being grateful for all that has come to me, the goodness that has come to me, and the harsh teachings that have come to me, because they're going to make me a better person for the year to come. And so November 1st, we often see that as our new year, right? So right now it's sort of like the 6 weeks before that. This is the lull before we get to that time where the full death has come. But in this moment, we are acknowledging the death of all the things we're cutting, we're taking from the harvest, all the things that we're drying, our herbs that are drying, and the gods and goddesses that have lended their help in creating the abundance that we have been bestowed upon. Okay? So that's what Mabon's about. The witches' Thanksgiving. Mabon. The fall equinox. So be thankful. Be grateful for all the good that has come your way. Be grateful for all the difficult times too, because they helped you build the character that you carry. They'll help you build a strong you, so that when difficult things do come to you, they won't be so difficult, right? This is a time when you're doing your altars, you want to use those colors I was telling you about. Red, yellow, orange, and green. Most important colors right now. And what else do I want to share with you? Oh, I know what else. A couple more things. I want to show you something. This is one of my favorite books. It's called The Sabbath. So it's backwards. I'm sorry you're seeing it backwards. But it's by Eden McCoy. The cover is different now. But it's one of the best books I've ever had in learning all about the different Sabbaths, or the 8 different important seasonal dates of a witch's calendar year. They're called Sabbaths. And you can get this one here. This is Llewellyn Sabbath's Almanac. Every year it comes out. It's an awesome book. It'll help teach you a little bit. And this one here is the Book of Mabon, and this is in a collection that I have. There are 8 of these books individually, and they speak on each of the Sabbaths, and they're really good teachings, really, really good teachings. Just to be clear, this particular book has many different authors in it, and this one here does too. So I can't give you an actual author's name. But this is the second harvest. The third harvest and the final harvest will be at Samhain. Okay? If you like this time, and I do too. It's really beautiful. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It seems quieter. I guess the hustle bustle of summer is sort of slowed down. Everyone's sort of hunkering down to the seasonal energy, which is all about, the dark time, which is what we're going into. Because the time right today is the balance of time, day and night, but each day will become darker and darker and more longer nights until we hit Yule, which is December 21st. And then at that time, it'll be the darkest night. And then the next day, the 22nd of December, will begin the ascension of the daylight. So each day will get a minute or two back until we finally hit, I guess it'll be Ostara, which is the spring equinox. And then we'll have balance again. And then we'll have more daylight than night. So this is the cycle. This is the cycle of the mother. This is how she operates. And we have to learn how to be inside her energy. So at this time, she says to you, go inside, withdraw from the energy, learn, read, refine yourself, reflect upon yourself, refine you as a being. What do you want to cultivate? What do you want to make more a part of your day-to-day? What about you do you like the most that you want to hone in on? Dream time. This is really important, to listen to your dreams. Pay attention to what dreams are coming to you, because they will tell you, the gods and goddesses and your grandmothers and grandfathers and ancestors, they'll speak to you while you're sleeping. And if you awaken, please do yourself a favor and don't put your feet on the ground right away. Write down what you remember first in a journal. They say that you do that and then you'll remember your dreams better. But the moment you put your feet on the ground, you disconnect from the dream time. So if you remember your dreams, then you might be able to use them, the information from those dreams, to advance yourself a little bit quicker along the way, right? So this time is about learning, studying, healing yourself too. If you've, I'll be working on my weight, and really hunkering down and trying my best to do more exercise, to eat less. And it's a good thing to do, is to eat less. The only problem with the type of food that we eat at this time of year is a lot of comfort food. Be mindful about that so you don't put on too much weight. Yes, our desires that we dream are magnetic. Absolutely they are. It's really important to maintain that connection to your dream time. A lot of people say they don't remember the dreams. Part of the reason they're not remembering the dreams is because they're putting their feet down on the ground before they have a chance to capture the dream. So before you even get out of bed, just grab the dream first. Try to remember where you're at in the dream and start to say it out loud. If you can, get a journal, write it out, and just keep writing until it all comes out of you. And then you'll be able to use that dream to help you, advance you in the coming seasons, okay? So we are in Mabon, the fall equinox, one of the most beautiful times of the year. It is filled with life and death. It is in balance of white and black, of good and evil, of man and woman. It is as it is. That is what we're working on. That is the season we're working in. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is the herbs that might be really helpful to you at this time. I always say, to work with at least 3 or 4. 3 to 5 herbs is usually what I work with. I'm going to work with some Irish moss today. Irish moss. And it is for... Excuse me, I was trying to get rid of that. It's a feminine energy. and it does represent the moon. And this one here has more to do with the moon that we're in, the Sagittarian moon, and that watery energy. It's good for money and love and protection, yes, but it's also good for, how do I put this? Protection, yes, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to use this one tonight, is to protect you from yourself, to be honest with you, and protect you from any of your own wrongdoings, whatever you have done that maybe you wish you hadn't done. And this will help you a little bit with that. Lemon balm is another one. Thank you. This one is for cleansing, clearing, for love and friendship. All right, this one is really good also to sort of help you release things that you no longer need. Whorehound. And this is oh yes, I wanted to say something else about the lemon balm. Hold on a minute. And a lot of people probably have this. It's also for respiratory and herpes. So, this is also good. When I said to you about healing, this one is really good for healing a number of different things like that, things that have sort of rooted themselves inside us. If you do some ritual work to get a release of any of those roots, this is a good time to uproot things, right? Don't forget that. It's also a time when we do that with plants and trees and things like that. Whorehound. Obviously for respiratory and stuff like that as well. But it's a Mercury planet, and Mercury just finally went direct, and I'm sort of honoring it by saying, hello, Mercury, thank you for going direct, because we really needed to be direct. And it's an exorcism and for mental power. So this is going to help us release the things that we shouldn't be holding on to. But not just for us, but for the world, for everyone. And so when I do this, when I burn this, my intention is to help all of us release and to become more in balance, or to more in harmony with ourselves, right? And that's what this one's for as well, harmony. Okay, so we're going to burn some of that. Give me a second. I'm going to get my myself set up, and I'm going to turn this so you can see what I'm doing. Okay? So I'm using a charcoal briquette. That's what I'm lighting. I'm going to put that there. So I've told you what the herbs are good for. So we want to, when we put these herbs alight, we will ask them specifically what we would like them to do. And this is a Mabon incense powder. And it has frankincense and myrrh, sandalwood, cranberries, cinnamon. Oh boy, there's so many different wonderful things inside it. And I mean, it was made a long time ago. What else is in there? Hawatha. Oh no, what is it? Hibiscus. Hibiscus root is in there. Cinnamon, cranberry. sandalwood, myrrh, and frankincense. What else? There was one other thing. I'm not remembering what it was. Hawthorn berries. That's what it was. Hawthorn berries. Yes, yummy. Does it ever smell good? Grand Rising. This is my sacred temple that we're in. Irish moss, lemon balm, and horehound. We ask you, spirits of the herbs, to come into our lives and help us. Help us balance our lives. And we send the good energy to all those around us that may need it, all the vulnerable people. And we know there are so many. We ask that our community stop fighting, come to understand one another, take some time to learn from each other, all the different cultures. Allow yourselves to learn from one another. By doing that, you show respect and understanding. And when we come from a place of understanding, then there is love and forgiveness. No one has all the truth. No one has all the answers. We all have a little piece of the pie. And we all need to come to whatever disagreement that we have with humility and kindness. This is sweetgrass. Sweetgrass calls in the sweet energies, sweet spirits. A long time ago I learned they call them the sweet spirits, but the other thing that someone didn't tell me, that even the darker spirits, they will be interested to come because they like the smell of sweetgrass too. So this is an energy of deities, ancestors that we call today spirits. Spirits. We ask them to be with us today as we speak our truth. So while everything is burning, those wonderful herbs that we put in the incense burner over there in the little cauldron, that's sending all of our messages up to Spirit in the smoke. These little charcoal briquettes, as you see, these little charcoal briquettes, they're really super helpful when you're doing your ritual work. So if you haven't got them, you want to have some. So I'm going to put that in my big cauldron here. And I'm going to send these herbs to that area. I'm going to let that sit here. Now, some of you may or may not use knives. This is an athame that I might use, and I'll use this today as I stir the herb, the incense herb, back onto the charcoal, so that we're not wasting. Now some people might use this to cast a circle, and they might do it like this, depending on what kind of circle you want to create. You may use an athame to create and carve out your, cast your circle with. Some people use their fingers, and they would do it like this, and then pierce the middle, bringing the energy in or pushing it out, depending. Knives are used in the same way. Athames are used in the same way. So are feathers, actually. And some people use feathers to do it. There's all kinds of ways to direct your magic. You have to make that decision as to how that fits you. But this would be considered air, the energy of air. And we have fire here. We have herbs being earth. We have spirit, because above there, if you see up here, these are my ancestors and people that I love. And I have deities in the way of gods and goddesses all around my space here. This whole room is a chapel, actually. Sacred temples. So they're all around me. And water. Water is in the cup over there. You see that cup at the corner? Right there? That copper cup? There's water in there. And my altar is set up so that you can see it. But here, I'll give you a better picture of it. Thank you. Welcome here. Thank you. Lori, hi. Oh, you're welcome, dear. So that's a little bit about Mabon. And the things that you can do at this time will certainly be, dinners and foods and welcoming of others and to your table, feeding others. Quiet, baby. Talking to the spirits, connecting with the earth, walking with the earth. Yes, I have moonstone. Thank you. I have moonstone. But in fact, I'm wearing a moonstone. I have to check. There, see my moonstone right there is one of them anyway. But I often wear quartz. And this is a garnet. And it says to expect miracles. And, I'll show you this one too. This is my little Jesus head. And you'll say, what? Are you a Christian witch? No. Jesus wasn't a Christian either. Jesus was a Hebrew and a rabbi. And he got kicked out of everywhere he was because he didn't follow the rules. And he was indoctrinated in one faith and was absorbing teachings of other faiths. And in that, he became a traitor. And he was teaching women, which was Mary Magdalene, and that got him into a lot of trouble. Hey, Tracy. And that's how he ended up on that crucifixion, to be honest with you, is because he was open to more teachings. So this is why in my teachings as the White Wolf Coven, I always say it's really important for you to, you hear me out. I'm a seasoned witch. I've been at this a long time. And I've been trying really hard to teach people to learn about the foundations of magic, how to work with the energies of the earth, what you can do at certain times of the year, and how to improve your life by using these things, and to improve your magic. I mean, I'm not doing magic for anyone right now. I'm not doing magic for anything really except for the traditions of wishing well to our community people, right? And wishing abundance to our community people. But I'll also back that up with some action, physical action. Okay, so the teachings of Jesus really was just about loving one another. And, he has long hair and kind of a hippie. I kind of like that. So I've been honoring Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene for a very long time, but not as Christians. Not as Christians. More because he taught to love one another. And I think that's important. And that doesn't mean you can't get angry or be pissed off or, look for justice in a situation when there isn't any there. You can. But you always have to remember, whatever you put out is going to come back to you in some way. So be ready for that. Be ready for what you put out. Make sure if you're putting out baneful magic, for instance, you are assured that that energy or that individual is deserving of it, right? Okay. Stones that you might want to use at this time of year. Can you imagine what they might be? Thank you, Jessie. Thank you, Smiley. Can you imagine what stones you might want to use at this time of year? Come on. Some of you must know your crystals. Carnelian, oh, you're rocking it. Yes. It's also time to be very creative at this time of year. Stay in your house, making things, creating things. Work in your craft. Obsidian, yes, Athena. Yes, Athena. Black is a very good stone to work with, along with red. Thank you very much, Stella. Smoky quartz. Yes, Anna. Exactly. Yes, yes, Amber, Jessie. Yes, yes, absolutely. Good. This is in fact, I have a hard time doing crafts at any other time of year. Shungite, yes. Yes, Ginger. A lot of people are feeling exhausted right now. It's because of the seasonal change. It's very difficult, and there's a lot of planets in retrograde. Don't worry, you'll get through it. I love the Magdalena manuscripts. Beautiful book. I have a lot of those books, Clayton. Hey, Clayton, how's it going? Hi. So I would use yellow stones, orange stones, red stones, and black stones, and green stones, and green stones. So really just thinking of the type of colors that you want to work with. And you know, depending on how yes, citrine, yes. And animals are also what you want to work. So yes, all the fall colors, browns, like tiger's eye would work as well, right? Jaspers would work. Bronzite. So yes, fall colors. So consider whatever colors the earth is presenting, those are the stones you want to use. Whatever herbs are in your backyard are often the herbs that are going to work for you. Whatever foods are growing in your community are the foods you want to eat at this time of year too. So whatever's growing in your community at this time are the foods you eat. And in the winter, we're supposed to eat more meats and fish and comfort foods and things like that. Stuff that we have stored or preserved, we can eat through the winter long, right? What else did I want to teach you about or share with you at this time? Well, because you always want to be mindful of the moon, what is happening with the moon and what planets are working with you or not working with you, or the ones you have to sort of, step aside and be mindful of. You have to be really careful when there's retrogrades. Retrogrades can be very tricky unless you're born in them. And for those of you that don't know enough about your natal charts and that, I'm the one you want to go to. You can get readings from me and astrology sessions and stuff like that. So just go to my link tree, you'll find all that stuff there. I am a professional psychic. That's why I offer these things. I'm also a professional end-of-life doula and an ordained minister, and do weddings and baby blessings and memorials for people who have passed. So sort of say hello, I do, and goodbye. That's the things I help people with. Let's see. What else did I want to share with you? Is there anything you want to know? Thank you, Amanda. I've worked hard at what I do. I love what I do. I'm trying to think what else I want to talk to you about. When I say goodbye, I'll remember it all. So I'm asking you, is there something else you want to talk to me about or ask questions about? What are you talking about, Lori? Lori? Oh, wait a second. Are you... I know who you are. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know. But I did feel something was off. And we were talking about some interesting things today as well, Lori. What was that we were talking about? Oh, mixing your magic. Yes, let's talk a little bit about mixing magic. Retrogrades affect people. Yes, but usually retrograde, if you're born in a retrograde, that particular retrograde is going to be good for you. So Yes, we were talking about mixing your magic. You know, what if you were, let's say, we're talking about a Christian witch, for instance. If you're mixing that kind of energy, you can be sure you're going to be dealing with some things that you didn't expect. So I think we were talking about mixing Catholic saints and hoodoo magic. And I know that there are people out there that do that. I don't agree with it. And I think anybody who's using magic in that way, where they're taking two different genres that are not, they're not compatible, they're going to out each other. So they're going to, basically, you're going to null and void your magic, right? So you got to be really careful when you're putting magic out there that it is compatible, because eclectic witches mix a lot of magic. This is important that you acknowledge. Make sure you think it through. Especially, do not follow. For instance, Catholicism at this time is carrying a huge shadow of darkness around because of what it did to the native children. So you don't want to align yourself with something that's already going down a drain. You'd rather go somewhere else. That's working against yourself. That's hard work. That's hard. So in witchcraft, it's better for you to use different genres of deities, maybe Greek ones or even Chinese ones, for goodness sakes, because at that point, as long as they're all on the same energy, if they all, like Kuan Yin is about women medicine and working towards uplifting women and protecting women, and then so would Diana, the moon goddess. She would be there about women as well. So if you want to work with those two, then they have the same vibration, right? Similar energy. You want to use the same vibrational energy if you're mixing as an eclectic witch. So be very mindful of that you're not using contrary religions or belief systems, because they will null and void each other, right? And you'll end up not getting your magic working. And this is a big deal, because this is happening a lot to people. Their magic isn't working. And I've noticed this. A lot of people who are doing magic, who are, putting that effort out and taking the right day, using the right day of the week, for instance, is also really important, because each day of the week has different energy. So, like Monday is a moon day. So you want to use Monday for days for emotional days. That's also a good day to use for losing weight, right? Water, especially if it's water that you're holding. So water day, it's a female day, it's a healing day, it's a mood day, right? Moon day. Tuesday. So remember the days in this way. So the Sunday, is all about light, liberation, the sun itself, bringing joy and pleasantry into your life, right? The other, let's say Saturday. Saturday is about Saturn, and it's about restrictions and limitations. And let's say you're looking for defined boundaries or description of your job, for instance, or you want a contract. This is a good day to do your magic on Saturday. Friday, which is today, is about love and money. And often you'll find when I'm doing something on Friday, I talk somewhere in there about love and kindness and community and those things. Very important day for beauty spells too. That's another one. Thursday's Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday's Mars. Is it Mars? I was going to think about Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday. Mercury. No. Wait a minute. Lunday, Marday. Mercury, Jeudi. Yeah, okay. Yes. Jupiter is Thursday. Tuesday is Mars. Wednesdays is Mercury. Thursdays Jupiter? I'm forgetting. I forget. Why am I forgetting? Just because I'm supposed to know everything, and I guess I have to show my humanity. So once in a while I got to look at my book to check things that I've forgotten. So anyways, Tuesdays would be Mar Day. Like I said, Mars. So it's an action day. And it's a day that, if you were going to do baneful magic, that'd be the day I would use, would be Tuesday. Wednesday's Mercury. Mercury is about communication and travel and those types of things. If I wanted, if I was having a fight with someone, this would be when I would do a spell to stop the fight, right? With like a workplace. Let's say you were having trouble in a workplace and you couldn't get a good communication going. That would be a good time. Anything to do with Mercury. If I wanted to go on a trip, I would use Wednesday. Yes, that's right, Nolan. In fact, to add to that, there are 25 full moons in a 2-year period. So 1 year is 12 full moons and next is 13. And then that's the year that we call a blue moon, when we have 2 full moons in the same month, which I believe we had in August of this year, right? Um, yes, exactly. Yeah, Tuesday's Mars, and Thursday, I'm pretty sure it's Jupiter. But I'm just double checking because sometimes I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, yeah. So we just had a blue moon that was done in August. That gave us 2 full moons. That is that's really amazing when that happens. I love when that happens. And 28 days is every cycle of the moon, right? Every cycle, which is why sometimes our periods change a little bit. Yeah, I will write a book one day when I'm not busy making things happen. So Thursday is a day to look towards abundance and things to expand. Let's say you're thin and you want to put weight on. That's a good day to work with it. And if Jupiter is in retrograde, which it is right now, Thursday would be a really good day to ask Jupiter to help you lose weight, not just Monday. So you have to know little things like that. It's really logic, right? Because a lot of people think witchcraft is really super difficult and hard. It isn't. In fact, I was saying to someone recently how, we never used books from years ago. We never used books because we didn't need them. We were paying attention to the earth. We were paying attention to the sky. We were paying attention. We didn't need to go to a book. We didn't ask anybody anything. We didn't have to because the earth spoke to us. We knew what to do because the earth spoke to us. Right? And we listened, and we weren't so cluttered with telephones and computers and chaos of the world and having to work overtime to 60 hours, 80 hours a week just to be able to pay our bills. So we were more connected to the spiritual energy around us. We were able to read it better. Thank you, Zach. So I think that it's really important to sort of slow down so you can pay attention to what's going on around you. And it's also important to write your books, write your shadow books, write things down that you're doing, write the stuff down that you're learning so you can resort to that as your reference books later. It's stuff that you heard or you recognized or you learned. It doesn't have to come from a book. And a lot of people who are doing magic, who are working magic directly from a spell book, are doing an injustice to their own spirit, to their own hearts, to be honest with you. Although I sell these spell books in my store, I was never thinking that you would just use those in order to do your spells. I thought you would use it like a recipe book, well, at least the way I use it. I would give it as an example, and then I would mix and match and use whatever creator put in my backyard or put in my way, So you want to use the days of the week. You want to use the waxing and waning moons. You want to use the seasonal energies. You want to know these foundational things to add to your witchcraft. That's the point. Once you've learned that, then every single book you read will be like, adding to your repertoire. But you should be keeping that within your being. And you should write things down that you might forget. I have a compendium with a list of all the planets and a compendium with a list of all the herbs and how they relate to the planets. I have a compendium, and I created it. Me and my girls, we created it a couple of years back. And it has been one of the most useful things. In fact, I've thought about selling it because it's really super helpful. It's got like 200 plants in it, and it's in a chart form, in an Excel sheet. It's really awesome. I'm doing lives weekly, Nance Pants, every Friday. And sometimes more than that. In fact, myself and my son are psychics, and we do the monthly horoscope for all the signs. And I'll be doing some other stuff on my own again. Exactly, Smiley. Exactly. It's important to learn these. It takes, if you ask me, if you're a learning witch, if you're just learning now, it's going to take you 4 years to become a witch in a way where you feel comfortable saying, yeah, I'm a witch. For the moment, you might be a baby witch or a witch in training, but when you drop those training wheels, it'll take 4 years. And it'll talking about learning on a regular basis, not once a week, but once a week with me, maybe, and once a week with somebody else, and taking courses over here and reading books like here and going out in nature and listening, writing stuff down, interpreting things, sitting alone with yourself. This winter, promise me that you'll sit quietly with yourself. Sit quietly and learn about yourself. Feel it. Write you down. Figure yourself out. I am connected, Nance. I've been doing this over 30 years, and I've been running metaphysical stores as long or longer. Yes, I have done weekly predictions, not on TikTok, though on Facebook I did that for a long time. Stopped doing that, though, because I have a hard time. I'm doing so much. I have a couple of metaphysical stores called Earth and Sky Connection. In fact, you'll find them on TikTok, Earth and Sky Connection. One's in Barrie. That's the one I started. My girlfriend's run it now. And Earth and Sky Connection Inc. is my incorporation, and I have that on TikTok here. I also have Earth and Sky Connection Tamara White Wolf on Facebook and TikTok, and where else? Instagram. So yes, and I'm on YouTube as well as Tamara White Wolf Psychic Seer, and Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff. I have all the social media places set up. But weekly predictions, no, I think my son's going to start doing that, though, in a very short period of time. I think he'll be doing that. I do monthly predictions, and I'll do, instead of weekly, what I've been doing is predictions around what's happening when there's a Mercury retrograde, for instance, or a Venus retrograde, or I do collaborations with other well-known astrologers and do some predictions like that. For this, we did a 3-month prediction for the whole summer long, so you kind of knew what kind of energy was coming in. That's the kind of stuff I do. Weekly predictions are kind of boring. Well, they're not boring really, but I just got so much on the table, I'll let somebody else do it. My son will probably start them. If you want to follow him, he's Island_psychic_Skylar, SKYLAR. He's my adult son, and he's a tarot master as well. And I teach tarot, by the way. I teach it every Wednesday from 5 until 7 my time, which is PD time, Pacific time. And I teach that to a beginner's class. And I also teach an advanced class on Wednesdays at 3:30 Pacific time. I think so too, Nolan. Unless we choose not to. Who taught you that, Nance Pants? Who's they? I must have missed something. Can all you folks do me a favor and tap that screen 100 more times? Thank you. And just as a reminder to those in the room, if you see up on the top right, you'll see a swan and you'll see a star. See where it says 1171? That is a monthly subscription to this. And as we get going, anyone who has the wolf beside their name will first be a part of the White Wolf Coven and will be welcome to come to some of the Zoom events that we'll be doing with true ritual work and spell casting. Okay? And I'll be teaching a lot more in-depth things there, because I don't want to do it here because you get into trouble on TikTok very easily. You can get started with me, Sarah. That's the point. Right on, Smiley. I'm not surprised. So if you buy a subscription, you'll be privy to all the benefits being in the White Wolf Coven. We'll give you, as well as when we do predictive work, any kind of psychic work here, if I see you come online and the name Wolf is beside you, you'll get a free reading there and then. I teach tarot online, Crystal. You can go to my website, and if you look up in the workshops, you'll find the tarot classes, and you can message me, and I will message you back. Tell me that you are from TikTok and you have the Wolf subscription, and I will treat you especially wonderful. Thank you. You're welcome. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in becoming a subscription. And it's going to get harder and harder for you guys to get my teachings as we go, because I'm going to get deeper and deeper into it. And I can't do that deep part here. I'll only be sharing this type of stuff online free to folks, just as a courtesy kind of a thing. Okay? Yes, that's right, Nolan. And you'll love the tarot class, Crystal. It is, you will need a Rider-Waite tarot deck, and you will need the book by Eden Gray, Complete Book of Tarot. And they're not expensive, and I do have them. Okay, once you're in the class, after about 3 or 4 months, you're going to need a couple of other books. I have everything you need, and I send it off to you. Where are you located, Crystal? You're welcome. Saskatchewan, right on. So what time is it there now? Here it's 7:24. Is it 8 or 9:24 there? They're all of it. 8:25, yeah. So you're just an hour ahead of me. All my classes are on Zoom and in person. But if you're away a distance, you can join the Zoom. And I have, I think I have there's 9 people in that one class in the beginners. The subscription will get you free readings whenever I see you and I'm doing predictive work. It'll also get you in the White Wolf Coven. And when we get to a point where there's too many people in this gathering here on TikTok, the only people I'll be able to answer will be the people that have that wolf on there, because it'll be too busy. The other thing is you'll be welcomed and invited to the Zoom sessions when we do more advanced work on rituals and spell casting and talking more about things that aren't allowed on TikTok. Because I don't want to get into trouble here. I can't be bothered with the nonsense, to be honest with you. So I'm very careful of what I say. We'll be learning about herbs on Zoom. You can't teach it here, I can tell you that, because it's not fact checked. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff I can't teach you about. I can't teach you about crystals here. I can't teach you about anything. That's really serious, because it's all considered unfacts, not factual. So I do it on Zoom instead. It is, unfortunately. Yes. What is the number one book we should read to get started? Oh my God. A number one book to read on witchcraft. Easiest books to read on witchcraft. Silverwaite Ravenwolf's books are pretty good. Starhawk's books are good. Margaret Alder's books are good. Raymond Buckland's books. Raymond Buckland, sorry. Raven Gramancy. Aleister Crowley, although it's a little heavier. Israeli Regardi, who's his secretary and student. I don't know, there's so many, I can't even tell you which one's the best one. I teach shamanism and witchcraft, so I've sort of learned both at the same time. And I think witchcraft is a shamanic practice in many ways. And I'm also part native, so I've got a lot of native teachings mixed inside of what I do. A lot of my classes, our teachings were through classes, right? A lot of my stuff was teaching through classes. And then, of course, books along the way. I don't know. One day, maybe I'll take you through some of my libraries. What have I got in here? Mostly tarot. Mostly tarot. All my witchcraft books are in my office. How about the next time we're together, I'll do some books and book lists. It'll be next Friday. Next Friday, we'll talk about a book list. How's that? Okay? I'll be thinking about that from now to then, and I'll try to write down some really good books that I thought were awesome. You know, I read a lot of really interesting books like The Golden Bough. The Golden Bough by Robert Blake, I think it was. Was it Robert Blake? Oh, I think I'm wrong there. Hang on. The Golden Bough. I believe it. Yeah, no, sorry, it's totally wrong. The Golden Bough is James George Fraser. James George Fraser. The Golden Bough. Awesome book. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Thank you, Nance Pants. I appreciate that. Welcome to the White Wolf Coven. Yeah, so you definitely want to go to this the link tree and go to the White Wolf Coven page and register, and then I'll with your email and everything so that I have it, okay? And I'll get you connected to the Zoom. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I think that, so I mean, it's really not a lot of money. I think it's like $5 or $6 every week is what it costs. So it's not a big deal. How do you know you're a rich witch? How do you know you're a witch? One of the biggest questions I've ever been asked. That's right, Nolan. Well, if you love nature, if you are called to nature, if you work with herbs, if you're called to herbs, if you're called to speak to spirits, if you're called to understand astrology, if you're called to sit with the moon, if you're called to learn psychic work, if you're called to energy heal, all of those things, or one of those things, are all related to witchcraft. Healers, psychics, seers. I guess you're a witch, Tracy. You're cute. I guess you're a witch, girl. You know, years ago when I opened up my store, Earth and Sky Connection, I was very much more connected to the native part of my life, or so I thought. And yes, I do spells with plants all the time. Just go to where it says White Wolf Coven, honey. And then just go register, okay? And then that way I'll have all your info. Yes, you can do many spells with plants, and that's exactly what we were doing here today. And I can tell you, if you feel like you belong in nature, then you are. If you feel healed in nature, like when I'm upset, I have to be outside. I have to get out. The first thing I want to do is get out of the building, go somewhere where I can take my shoes off and put my feet on the earth, because it just calms me down. Or I sit on the earth, or I'll go swimming, or go walking in the bush, or go walking in nature. When I was younger, I used to do a lot more walking now because I have a little bit of arthritis going on. Well, maybe a lot. But anyways, it makes it hard. And I used to walk a lot with my dog. You know, now I sit with them a lot. Now they bug the hell out of me because they want to go walking and I can't go as far as I used to. But yeah, nature will call you. Dreams, that's another one. If you get psychic dreams, premonitions, if you know things when you hug people, if you get all these kind of wild dreams and then things come true through your dream time, or you hear spirits speaking to you in the dream time, these are all things that show you you're a witch. Right? Sounds of nature matter. There's so many things that relate to witchcraft, though, right? I mean, someone the other day said, if you're not working with herbs, you're not a witch. And I giggled because I knew he was going to get some flack from that. And of course he did, because a lot of people aren't working with it because they're baby witches or newbie witches, and they haven't gotten to that stage of their witchcraft yet. That's why I say to you, you might be a witch in training, but to truly be a witch is going to take you about 4 years of training. Well, that's good that you're connected to that. Witch just means that you're a wise person. Are you saying you're not a wise person? Or you just don't align with the word witch? That's okay if you don't. But, it is what it is. I think a lot of people are taking that word back because it was the church who used it as a bad thing. Okay? Can you have natural magic? Let me just double check something here. Yes, you can. You can have natural magic, for sure you can. But that again would just be your ancestors aligning you with what was witchcraft, or what is witchcraft. We don't actually, a lot of people don't like that word. I know what I was telling you about. When I was younger, I wouldn't call myself a witch. I would call myself aware. And because my name is Tamara Whitewolf, people would say, "What do you mean? You mean like a werewolf?" No, I mean like I'm aware. I'm aware of things. I'm aware of the earth. I'm aware of magical things. I'm aware of spirits. I'm aware of things. I'm aware. Down the road, I realized that I really was a witch. And it took me a good 5 years to be sure that I was. And that was in, what year would that have been? 1997, 96. And it wasn't until, was it 1996? 96 or 97 is when I knew I was a witch. Right? Right. But like I said, you could be a baby witch. You could be a witch in training. You could be an unruly witch. You could be a seasoned witch and still not know some things too. Because a seasoned witch still learns. I'm a seasoned witch and I still learn from people. Well, that's okay. You don't have to use the word witch. But I bet you're pretty wise. And likely as you go down this path, how old are you, if you don't mind me saying, dear? Or the one who's saying I'm not a witch? Just curious. What does it mean to be a witch? It means that you're connected to the earth and have wisdom that often is psychic, is often given to you by the source. Wow, I've been working at this for so long. I would say I started working as a witch when I was in my early 20s. I'm 63 now. 52. Well, I guess you know where you're at. You know where you're at. I don't mean disrespect by calling you a witch. However, I do believe that anybody who's working with these wonderful energies is aligning with witchcraft or witchery. But some people don't like the word, and that's okay. Thank you. Keep questioning your beliefs. If you're not sure, keep questioning. Do not follow something you don't understand. Don't follow anything that doesn't feel right. Okay? I love Native American Indian teachers. That's actually what saved my life, I believe. Yeah, well, I see. A lot of Native American people would not call themselves witches. I'm part Native, and I call myself a shaman witch, so... And that is so that I see myself sort of working with both energies. A medicine woman. I like that too. I call myself that as well. It depends on what circle I'm in and what language will work with that particular group of people. Because you don't want to, I don't want to hurt people or be rude to people or be disrespectful. Have you found my link tree there, Nance? Okay. I'm going to friend you, and I will make sure you get... I'm going to follow you back. Okay? I've just followed you back, Nance. And we can talk later. Just message me, okay? And I'll make sure you get what you need. I didn't call yourself spiritual. That works too. It doesn't matter. And like I said, I don't mean no disrespect calling anyone a witch who doesn't feel comfortable with that. If you find yourself to be a medicine person or a shaman, spiritualist, or whatever, I don't care. As long as you're loving the earth, as long as you're using the earth energies to enhance your life in the best way you can and being respectful of the universe, that's all that matters. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I do readings. That's right. You call yourself what you want. I call myself a shaman witch, and I have my reasons why. I took the word witch because I recognized it was the Christians' way of putting wise women down. It was the Christians' way of hurting women who were healers, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take that name on. And one day when someone said witch, 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 I said, yeah, I'm a witch. And it took me 4 or 5 years to realize I was. So that's okay. If you don't feel that way, you find yourself to be more of a medicine person, or you're still working in the same realm as witchcraft and healers, and it doesn't matter as long as you're being a productive community member where you are sending love and kindness into the world and helping others, and you're doing good. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I love doing readings. I've been doing readings for over 30 years, I think 35 years now. What can you do with your moon water for the fall equinox? What can you do with it? Well, you can wash your floors with it. You can mix it in with your water and wash your floors. Remember I was saying about fall cleaning? That would be a really good thing to do. You can drink it in honor of your renewed self, your balance. You can use it to energize yourself, to release or exercise yourself from things you don't want. You can use it to cleanse your altars. You can use it to clean your house. You keep losing the sound. I don't know why. Is anybody else having trouble? Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Nope. Could be your internet or those creatures we were talking about, Lori. Okay. Yeah, I think those saboteur creatures we were talking about are interfering. You need to smudge your space, girlfriend. Smudge your space, smoke cleanse your space, burn some herbs to release some of the energy there. Do some psychic surgery, cutting away the things that don't serve you. Mm-hmm. Well, my dears, my wonderful, wonderful TikTok family, it's just beautiful music I've put on. Splash moon water on your face, yes. It could be all the witchy energy, yeah. Yes, we will do something for Halloween. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we'll talk more about how Samhain, we call it in the witch way. But indeed, we will. So remember that this is the witch's Thanksgiving, and you can have a wonderful meal and deliver it to all your friends. And when you're making it, make sure you're saying to yourself that you're putting in the energy of balance and a balance of light and dark, and of balancing yourself, justifying yourself. So if you've been out of line, or you haven't been doing so well, or you haven't been happy, or things have been kind of crappy, this is a good time for you to put balance in, especially because we have a moon in Capricorn. You want to be thinking about this. Moon tomorrow, moon will be in Capricorn. You want to be thinking about things with work. So anything that's going to bring you in money, okay? Thank you. Thank you. What's your name, by the way, dear? Thank you. Capricorn, right? Paul, nice to meet you. So I think it's good for us all to consider. Well, I'm sorry, what was I talking about? Capricorn. Excuse me. Okay, so consider the work environment, your money situation, and ask for creator, spirit, deities, gods, goddesses, ancestors, your own higher self, to align properly with money, with abundance, with food, with security. This is a great time to ask for that tomorrow because the moon will be in Capricorn and it's waxing, and bottom line is we're going to pull more in. So that's what you want. If you want to secure yourself for the winter, you're going to need more bucks. You're going to need more money, right? More work opportunity. So I'll be calling in that and hoping that in my spell crafting, I'm going to be creating an opportunity for myself, my family, to have abundance in our work environment. Okay, and that I would also, that could go in so many ways. We're opening up 2 new stores, by the way, one in Nanaimo and one in Victoria in BC. We have one in Barrie, Ontario, for those of you who are out there. My girlfriend owns that one now. Comfort with money, right? Yes, I bet you work hard, Nance. Wow, that's a hard job. So yeah, put it out there and ask for balance. Also, it's a good time to ask for balance in your body weight, whatever that is, in your emotional stance, in your relationships, in your friendships, in your balance of work and play. Think about all these things because that's where we're at. You're Barrie, Ontario, Angela? Then you want to go to my store there, Earth and Sky Connection. It's now owned by my dear friend, Andrea. Have you been there before? Thank you, Karaoke Queen. Yes. Well, that's the store I sold to her during COVID. But I started that in 1996, and we were all up and down Dunlop Street. Thank you. Yes, I see that on the TikToks. There is a lot of people who think they're witches. Someone said something to me today about using lemon and salt and putting it under their bed in order to see if there was anyone crossing them, and they were expecting to see a soft lemon or a moldy lemon. But how could that be if salt was there? Salt is going to preserve it and dry it up. Now sugar might have done the opposite. Oh, thank you. Do me a favor, Empath Heart. I've answered that question 3 or 4 times today. Do me a favor. Go to my page here and look for one of my things that talk about witchcraft and ask me that question, and I promise to answer it in a video to you specifically, okay? I will answer your question. How do I know if I'm a witch? I'll answer it for you. They made preserved lemons. You got it. Right? Well, just so you know, this is Tuesday is Mars Day. That's not a bad day. It's an action day. Tuesday's not terrible. Tuesday's not terrible for a job interview, Kayla. It's not terrible. In fact, put it out there that the action that he gets is someone signing him up. Salty lemons. Hey there, Shelby. How's it going, girl? Yeah, somebody was mixing some hoodoo with Catholic work, and oh boy, not a good idea. And I was saying that you got to make sure when you're using eclectic magic that everything is going to work together and compatible, and not actually going to cancel each other out, right? So nice to see you got a job there, girlfriend. How's it going? You liking it? Well, you just keep pushing through. It's like stage fright, Looney Bin. It's like stage fright, okay? For real. And any time you come to sit in an altar or sit in front of the gods and goddesses, you're going to get a little bit nervous. You're standing on the stage, and we have, we're really, okay, good. You know, when you're standing on that stage, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. You don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to be rude. You don't want to be ignorant. This is why I don't want to do ritual online like this, because I find it nerve-wracking. You're going to make mistakes if you do. Cleansing is good with limes and salt. That makes sense. Absolutely. But not to find out about a crossing. There are different ways to do it. That wouldn't have been one that I would have used, that's for sure. But, so all you folks are wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. But I am going to end the evening because I was only going to do this for an hour and a half, and we're already past the hour and a half. But I'm very grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. And send some love into that room for everyone. Thank you for all the likes and all the love. And send some love to everybody else before we say goodnight. Just tapping the screen would be really nice. Nice to see you. What's your name, Karaoke Queen? So do I know you? Nancy, you're going to learn more. You're going to come here every Friday for starters. You're welcome. You're welcome, Crystal. I hope to see you at the tarot class. Like I said, I did, you know what? I think I've already, hang on a second. I want to see, I'm following you back too, Crystal. If you want to message me, I'll make sure you get connected to the tarot, okay? Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, all the time. Yes, I'll get you connected then, hon, no problem. Much love to you all. We used to talk in the store. What's your name? Heidi. 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 Oh my goodness, you look familiar. Oh. I think I already friended you. I think I friended you already. I did. Send me a message so I can figure out who you are. It was so nice to sit with you all again tonight. Thank you so much. I'm going to be online a lot more over the next little while. I'm just sort of sorting everything out. We just moved a store and we just leased another store and we're finishing a second lease. So we're going to be busy setting up, but it's going to be a bit of a lull. So over the next month or two, I'm likely going to be online a lot more than normal. Oh, do you? Okay, so I would say then for you, Nance, I might be able to send you, I'm not sure how I can do it, maybe through an airdrop or something. I could send you the replay. Let's stay connected, okay? Because now that you got your wolf status there, I'll make sure you get what you need, okay, my girl? And I will also put things online so you can find them. Alrighty? So nice to have you all with me tonight. Again, saying goodbye for the third time. Lots of love and sending all your wishes to you. I hope whatever you need in your life is manifested through this beautiful time of the Witches' Thanksgiving. Have a nice night. Bye, everyone. Many blessings. Thanks for sharing the live.